the many heads of the Hydra. The planet of Arenda Prime simmered with unease. Dark rumors had spread like a plague, whispers of heretical gatherings and unholy relics lurking in the shadows. Its governor, Lord High Regal Maximus 68th, a man who added an extra numeral to his title for gravitas, had pleaded for assistance. Though he expected reinforcements from the Imperial Inquisition, what he got instead was the Alpha Legion. Unseen and unknown, they had been operating on Arenda Prime for weeks before the governor had even sent his missive. Their orders, though issued by a distant and enigmatic command, were, as always, multi-layered, cryptic, and open to wildly differing interpretations. "Listen closely," whispered Operative Theta, his face obscured by a hood so shadowy it looked like a black hole. "Our mission is simple. We infiltrate the governor's inner circle, sabotage his leadership, and let the cults flourish. Then, when the time is right, we burn it all down." The two operatives beside him, each clad in a similarly overcomplicated disguise, exchanged dubious glances. "That's not the mission," said Operative Iota, adjusting the enormous commissar's hat he had scavenged from Emperor knows where. The hat sat askew, giving him the air of a drunk war hero. "We are infiltrating the Chaos cults directly. Take out their leadership, destabilize their forces, and pin the blame on the governor. Classic Hydra." "No, you're both wrong," said Operative Omicron, who until that moment had been silently pretending to be a statue in the corner of the governor's office. "Our mission is to locate the artifact, recover it, and leave before anyone realizes we were even here." The three stared at each other in confusion, each convinced the others were either stupid, misinformed, or actively sabotaging the operation. None dared voice the possibility that all three of them could be right or wrong. "Fine," Theta said finally. "We proceed with our respective interpretations of the mission. Hydra Dominatus." "Hydra Dominatus," the others muttered, though with a distinct lack of enthusiasm. By mid-afternoon, their overlapping schemes had begun to spiral out of control. Theta, posing as the governor's new Minister of Logistics, had spent the day planting rumors about a chaos artifact buried in the northern mines. The cult must have hidden it there, he told the Governor's Council, feigning loyalty with the grace of a low-budget holodrama actor. His goal, draw the planetary defense forces away from the capital and leave it ripe for cultist infiltration. Meanwhile, Iota, having declared himself an inquisitor, complete with forged rosette, riled up the local defense force with fiery proclamations about purging heresy. "To the mines!" he bellowed, whipping the guardsmen into a righteous frenzy. "We'll root out the corruption at its source!" Omicron, disguised as a priest of the Emperor's Light, chose a more direct approach. He gathered a mob of fanatical citizens and announced that the artifact in the mines was a holy relic, requiring immediate consecration. "The teapot of doom must not fall into enemy hands," he roared. Within hours, a rabble of zealots armed with pitchforks, torches, and several inexplicably functional autocannons was marching to the mines. "Why do they think it's a teapot?" Iota hissed over the comms. "Because I said it was," Omicron replied testily. "Would you rather they think it's an Eldar soulstone? This way they're less likely to keep it." "You're making it worse," Theta grumbled. But he was already too busy coordinating his next move. Disinformation required constant maintenance, after all. At the northern mines, chaos erupted in earnest. Guardsmen clashed with cultists who fought off the torch-wielding mob, who in turn were pelting everyone with rocks and insults about blasphemy. The situation was already untenable when dropships descended from orbit, their hulls bearing the unmistakable sigil of the Alpha Legion. "Reinforcements?" Omicron asked over the comms, his voice rising in hope. "No," Theta barked. "It's us! We sent them in last week under deep cover to secure the mines. They're responding to the false intel we planted." "So, if that's us, who are we?" Iota asked, pausing mid-duel with a particularly zealous cultist. Deep within the mines, the three operatives found themselves standing before the so-called artifact, an ornate teapot with a chipped handle sitting on a pedestal of dubious importance. "This is it?" Theta asked, his voice laden with disbelief. "Don't question it," Omicron said. "Just secure it before someone—" But it was too late. All three lunged for the teapot at once, shouting over each other. "Drop it! Stand down, traitor! No one can have it!" In the ensuing scuffle, the teapot slipped from Omicron's hands and shattered against the ground. The chamber fell into stunned silence as the shards glinted in the flickering torchlight. Suddenly, their comlinks crackled to life. A smooth, dispassionate voice spoke. Mission accomplished. All secondary distractions complete. Return to extraction. The real artifact is secure. The three stared at each other. Wait, Theta said, realization dawning. This wasn't the artifact. It wasn't the artifact, Iota confirmed, slumping to the floor. Omicron raised a finger. So, all of this was a distraction? As the trio trudged back to their extraction point, Orenda Prime collapsed into chaos behind them. Cultists, guardsmen, and civilians continued to clash, now convinced that the shattered teapot had been the linchpin of their fate. Fires raged in the capital. Heretical slogans echoed in the streets, and somewhere in orbit, an Alpha Legion strike cruiser quietly departed with the real artifact, a nondescript data slate, secure in its hold. Well, Theta muttered as the extraction craft lifted off. Just as planned. Hydra Dominatus, Omicron added, though he sounded less certain. Hydra Dominatus, Iota mumbled, pinching the bridge of his nose. In the end, no one, not even the Alpha Legion, knew whether the mission had been a resounding success or a catastrophic failure, but then again, wasn't that the point?